Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the properties of real numbers. So make sure you have your note packet out and we're going to move right on. Let's skip the warm up. Our goal for today is to identify the properties of real numbers. You can and also use them. So what is a property? Property is just a rule that's always followed in math. So let's start talking about them. The first one is the zero property of multiplication. You've known this one since you first learned to multiply. The product of any number in zero is always zero. You've known that, 3 times 0 is 0. Any number times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 3/5 times 0 is 0. Any number times 0 equals 0. Identity property. When you think of your identity, you can think of who you are. Never changes, just like the identity property. The identity property of addition says if you add 0 to any number, the number will not change. So 3 plus 0, you will always get 3. That's different than the zero property of multiplication. Zero property of multiplication says whatever you multiply by 0 will give you 0. This is different. Identity property of addition, you start with 3, you end with 3. Your number did not change. There is an identity property of multiplication also. The identity of multiplication says that you multiply any number by 1 and the number will not change. So 5 times 1 is 5. Commute, we're going to be talking about the commutative property. When you think of commute, think of traveling back and forth. Commutative property of addition says it doesn't matter the order you add the numbers, you'll always get the same answer. So 6 plus 4 is the exact same as 4 plus 6. The commutative property also works for multiplication. Doesn't matter the order you multiply, you will always get the same answer. 4 times 6 is the same as 6 times 4. So you can change the order of multiplication, you can change the order of addition, and you'll always get the same answer. Commutative property does not work for subtraction or division. 3 divided by 1 isn't the same as 1 divided by 3. Same with subtraction. 3 minus 1 is not the same as 1 minus 3. So it only works for addition and multiplication. When you associate with someone, you're kind of talking groups of people. You associate with groups. So the associative property of addition, changing the grouping of numbers you add, does not change the answer. Now notice these are all addition. 3 plus 4 in parentheses plus 5 is the same as 3 plus 4 plus 5. These all have to be addition in order for this to work for the associative property of addition. Notice when I change the grouping, I have 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. Here I group the 4 and 5 together. 4 plus 5 is 9. I add my 3 and I get 12. The associative property also works for multiplication. You can change the groupings of the numbers you multiply. That does not change the answer. So if I have 6 times 5 times 7, if I group the 6 times 5 first, I get 30 times 7 is 210. Or I could group the 5 times 7 first. 5 times 7 is 35. Times 6 will still give me 210. Notice these are all multiplication on this side, though there isn't a mixture of multiplication and addition. It's all multiplication or it's all addition. So let's talk about which property is illustrated here. For the first one, that is a zero property. Multiply any number by 0, you get 0. Notice for this one, my numbers are the same, and they're all addition, but I changed how they're grouped. So that's my associative property of addition. My next one, I'm adding 0, and I'm getting the same result, so that's going to be an identity property of addition. Here, I went to square root of 46 times 5, or 5 times square root of 46. There's my commutative property of multiplication. 3t times 1 equals 3t. Again, I'm back to identity property, but of multiplication this time. And I have a half plus 3.25 equals 3.25 plus 1/2. That's going to be my commutative property of addition. Okay, let's look at these examples. What is different between this and this? Well, inside the parentheses here, I have 7 plus 5.9. Inside the parentheses here, I have 5.9 plus 7. I did not change the groupings. I changed the order inside the parentheses. So even though you might think associative, this is actually a commutative property of addition. I changed the order. Okay, let's look at this one. Inside the parentheses here, I have 4 plus 4. Inside the parentheses here, I have 7 plus 4. I changed my groupings. I'm still adding the same three numbers, 7 plus 4 plus 4, 7 plus 4 plus 4, changing my groupings of which I'm going to do first. That would be my associative property of addition. Now, oops, I gave you the answer. Sorry about that. Here is multiplication. I have 2 times negative 3/9, or negative 3/9 times 2. I just changed the order. So that is commutative property of multiplication. So a quick review of the distributive property. So you remember from the distributive property, we were multiplying 4 times this whole quantity, a plus 3. So we can simplify that by multiplying 4 times the a plus 4 times the 3. And I would get, that would show it for me, 4 times a would be 4a plus 4 times 3 is 12. That is my distributive property, and it's a combination of multiplication and addition. That's it. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.